Innovation Unplugged from the Alabama Community College System's Innovation Center takes you inside Alabama's workforce development. Join us for enlightening conversations with community leaders and industry experts showcasing experiences, addressing key issues, and celebrating successes in the workforce initiatives across the state.
Welcome back to another episode of Innovation Unplugged. I'm Houston Blackwood, your host for this show. We are in the Innovation Unplugged studio in Decatur, Alabama at the ACCS Innovation Center. I've got a fantastic guest today, all the way from down south of us, but who are you, man? Where'd you come from?
My name's Anthony Steele. I currently live in Holly Pond, Alabama. I grew up in the Logan area of Coleman and Hanceville area of Coleman.
Okay, now Logan, Alabama, it's kind of close to the West Point district.
Correct.
Right?
They share the same buses.
The same buses, yeah. That's also over there where Harmony School is.
Correct. They built Harmony when they closed Logan down.
Right. And so you got all that. Then you finished or went to high school at Hanceville High.
I did.
Home of the Bulldogs.
Home of the Bulldogs.
Yeah. And in between those two is Good Hope.
Yeah.
Good Hope School.
Yeah.
Gosh, yes. And then that flows right over into Fairview, then Holly Pond. And big circle back to Vinemont.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the tour of Coleman County, Coleman County schools. But so I appreciate you coming in today, and I'm really excited about this episode and about having a conversation with you. Just for the little context for the audience, we met, and I've seen you before at church events at Daystar, but we both go to Daystar Church, and I met you officially at the Freedom Conference about a month ago. And you came up to me, and you're like, "Hey, are you Houston Blackwood?" I'm like, "Well, I'm thinking this. We're in church, and this guy's kind of big, so he's probably not real mad. So, like he's probably, whatever. But yeah, I am. And you relayed how you had gone through one of our Skills for Success programs.
Correct.
And you recognized me from the video.
Yeah.
And which is kind of embarrassing because that was an awful video. I got so many backstories about that. But anyway, I was okay. I said so. I'm always curious when people are bold enough and interested enough to say, "Hey, I took this course. Like, there's a story there."
Oh yeah.
And I'm love a good story, especially when it comes out of our course. And so immediately I was like, "All right, I hope I can talk this guy into coming on our show, or at least some kind of marketing."
Yeah.
Because your story is beautiful, and I'm thrilled to have you here. So, give us a quick rundown of, I guess if you could say, the Cliff's Notes.
Yeah.
Right. The Netflix survey.
So I'm 39 years old. I struggled with drug addiction for about 20 years of my life. I was introduced to methamphetamine at the age of 13 years old. Later on, the last 10 years of my addiction, I was an IV drug user. And July the 4th will be 4 years I've been sober.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's God. It's all God.
So that's an interesting holiday to remember.
Yeah.
To get sober.
Right.
Independence
Day.
Independence Day, and all the things. But why that day?
Well, so I had been, trying to get sober. I say trying to get sober. I was still drinking everything. So I'd gotten married, and we had a big falling out about 4 months into our marriage, and I ended up going and relapse and use some meth, and I called somebody to come get me and take me to a rehab program the next morning, and it just happened to fall on the 4th of July.
Okay.
And I thought that was pretty neat myself. I didn't think about it till later on, but that's pretty awesome.
It is independence from whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
myself.
From what?
Myself.
Freedom from yourself. Gosh, yeah. And so that's for the listening audience. Like, the Freedom Conference is a small group that our church puts on, Daystar puts on. It's got some roots at a bigger group, but basically it's just it's a 12-week just a wonderful program about how to get past whatever's ailing you in life.
Absolutely. It's a life-changing experience going through that conference. And so I don't know if you remember, but you said that you met me at this last Freedom Conference. You actually prayed for me as I was going through the Freedom Conference about 3 years ago. And then I did my CDL test, and then I seen you in that video. I was like, man, he prayed for me at the Freedom Conference, you know?
Well, I wasn't going to bring up that original. I remember that original meeting. Like, it just kind of came to me one day. I was like, oh man, yeah, there was that time. And that's what we were both doing this last time.
Yeah.
We were both on that in the red shirts and
Yeah.
in the prayer line and so that story of you getting clean, relapsing, going into a recovery program, and then getting out, going through the Freedom curriculum,
Yeah.
and then starting your education journey.
Correct.
Okay. So you did all that at Wallace, Hanceville.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Down in Hanceville, Alabama. Tell us what that group was like. Because I'm a big fan of all of our colleges. Because I don't have to be, but I support all of them, and they're all different programs, different people. But I mean, the Wallace group, Hanceville, man, they're just amazing. So walk us through what that was like and what all you did there. Because you accomplished a lot in Hanceville.
Yeah, so I did the 4 weeks training for my CDL to begin with, and I was a nervous wreck going into it. I never drove a big truck. You know, I said I drove a straight shift, but I'm gonna tell you, driving a semi straight shift is totally different than driving a car, personal car. But and it was all I went in it scared, you know, nervous, not
Sure.
knowing what the outcome was going to be. And this was just something that, you know, as a kid, I always said, hey, maybe one day I can have my CDLs, you know, and that just happened to spark interest in me later on. And I thought, hey, I'm going to go get my CDLs. And I heard about the Skills for Success program, and I was actually able to get all the classes for free. So that was really awesome. Like, I got about maybe $400 invested in my CDLs. So that's such a blessing within itself. And then after the instructors and everything there, they were awesome. They worked with my schedule. You know, I did the night classes, which is in the afternoon,
Right.
from like 3 to 9, Wednesday through Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but if I needed to be off or anything, like, they were fine with it. You know, I could make it up or whatever. But yeah, they were worked with me really well, and going through that kind of boosted my confidence a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, a lot for me. So I used to find my confidence in drugs and alcohol, you know. So this is whole different life for me these days. But once I completed my CDL and got the my certification or my license, I got an email from them asking me about furthering my education, and I knew that whenever I was 15, I decided to do homeschooling, and I never went through with it. I signed up for it, but just long enough till I quit school. And so they sent me the email about furthering my education. So I decided I was going to go back and get my GED with a lot of encouragement from my wife, you know, and that's something. I just didn't feel like I was smart enough, you know. I think we put limitations on God, you know, because I set a goal for 6 months to have my GED, and I had it in 4.
Yeah.
So, and like, there's a few little small things that I had to have help on, but other than that, I probably could have just went up there and passed the test,
Right.
you know? But yeah, it's pretty amazing, actually.
It is an incredible story, and when you told me all that at the Freedom Conference, you know, that's a pretty emotionally charged moment
Yeah.
Because you're praying with these individuals, and some of them you've never met until that moment.
Yeah.
And so your emotions are high, and your brains are running in high gear. And I remembered all that, and I went home that night and told my wife, I was like, "You won't believe what happened." She goes, "What?" And sometimes things happen in that conference that are kind of wild.
Yeah.
And just spiritual things. But it's like, you won't believe the story this guy told me. And so I recanted it, and to her, she's a social worker, and she's a champion of people, period.
Yeah.
And it just hurts for anybody, cheers with anybody, whatever. And so she was kind of a little tear in her eye because she's proud of what we do, and the opportunities we have to give to people. But I could not stop thinking about that. And I came back and I was like, hey, made a list of all the things, and you were on that list to have this conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of Wallace Hansville, really, for reaching out and pushing you to the next level. But I want to go back a little bit. You said when you first started the CDO classes, you were scared, afraid, nervous.
Yeah.
Were you nervous about the truck and its complexity, or or were you nervous about taking on something that had a lot of risk after your journey?
I think a lot of it was the fear of failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, the big truck will make you nervous, because you never drove one. They put you in it and say, "Hey, you're fixing to go through the middle of Coleman." It's like, whoa.
I don't like doing that in a car.
Yeah, I know. But personally, yeah, it was just something within me having a fear of failure.
Yeah. Was that the first like big education or training thing you had done since
Yes.
dropping out of high school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That night class is, our colleges all do it differently based on their schedule, the instructors, and the students' needs. I'm a big fan of that night class, that Wednesday through, you said Saturday?
Sunday.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
Sunday. It makes it easy. What were you doing the rest of the time? Were you working somewhere?
I was working at Ray Hall at the time. I was a team lead in the shipping department. And once I got my CDL, I started driving the yard truck there at work some.
Okay.
And so eventually I ended up taking over the yard truck position, and I stayed in that position for about 6 months until I transferred to where I'm at now.
Okay. Don't tell that story yet.
Okay.
That's a big deal. Okay. So you immediately, once you had your CDL, you immediately got an upgrade.
Yes.
Off the production line.
Yeah.
Or
Well, I was a team lead. I was over the shipping department.
Okay.
Kind of guiding everybody. But yeah.
So you were already the boss. Now you're moving up and you got more responsibility. Immediately because of what Wallace was able to walk you through.
Correct.
That's really cool. Okay. So once you got there, then what did that do for your confidence once you're already a team lead, which is pretty cool because I've been to Ray Hall.
Yeah.
And I've been to that logistics department, and listen, like they call it just in time.
Yeah.
Because it's getting somewhere down in Tuscaloosa just in time. So that's a pretty big deal too, though.
Yeah. So I made that position within 3 months of working there.
Okay. The team lead?
Team lead, yeah.
Okay. What made you, other than just having a CDL and wanting to use it, were you ready to do something different?
I was. Being responsible for a department is pretty challenging.
Yeah.
A lot of responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Not that, I wanted away from the responsibility part of it, but it's a lot easier to be responsible for yourself and your own actions than to try to be responsible for a whole department.
Yeah.
And I seen the opportunity to drive that truck. You make more money.
Okay.
Plus the experience.
Mm-hmm. Because you didn't go get your CDL so you could be the yard truck operator at Ray Hall.
No.
Like, let's be honest, right?
No.
So that was just that was good in between. Okay, so 6 months go by and you're driving the yard truck.
I am.
Right?
Yes.
And then you're like, okay, now, in that time, is that when you got your GED?
Yes.
Right in that 6 month window, but you got it in 4 months.
Yes.
Okay. So now you're like, okay, I've cleaned up all that paperwork from way back when.
Yeah.
And I've got this new license and it's already paid off. And this is, I think, the critical moment. A lot of our students who take these courses, and I think people in general, when they're trying to level up or move on or put themselves out there to do more, they are nervous about that jump, or they don't even really know how to set the goal. They don't know what to set the goal to be. So walk us, and eventually there's going to be somebody listening like you years ago, right?
Right.
Trying to figure life out. Walk the listening audience through what your thought process was when you was like, okay, I've got all this done. I've accomplished all these things. I am capable. I'm confident now.
Right.
I'm licensed. I'm educated. I've got all the stuff. I have no more barriers. What did it take for you to make the decision to set a different goal that was outside of Ray Hall?
So, well, there's a lot of change taking place inside Ray Hall also, that kind of helped push me towards looking for another job. But the more, I drove that yard truck and stuff, the more confidence I got in driving it and backing trailers and because it can be challenging,
Yes.
very challenging. But
But pause right there. So a lot of folks don't know probably what a yard truck is.
yeah.
They think of a semi and they're looking at this picture here. What's a yard truck? Describe what that looks like.
A yard truck it's a little small single axle truck used to maneuver 53-foot trailers.
And it's got like a funny cab.
Yeah.
Like a
You
one-sided
set it in
cab.
front of the tires.
Yeah, it's an ugly little thing. But it's super navigable around those big spots.
Absolutely it is.
For
Way more than an 18-wheeler.
Oh gosh, yes.
Truck. Yeah.
Okay, so it's but you were putting those trailers in some tight spots and
Absolutely.
negotiating all kinds of whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure Ray Hall's very organized, but still,
Yeah.
it's kind of chaotic. So okay, so you had all that experience and you were working through it, and you started realizing, hey, this is doable.
Yeah.
How far into that 6 months, or after you were on the yard truck, how long did it take you to say, I'm going to do X?
So it was about 5 months in, I decided that I was going to try to move forward with my CDL license to start driving. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I started looking at that time.
Yeah.
And so that's whenever I found the job at the city
City of Coleman.
I have a Class A, but it only requires a Class B. But they do have some Class A vehicles that has to be moved around and stuff, and I have had the privilege of moving some of them for them and stuff, because a lot of the guys up there don't have Class A's. Most of them just get the B, that the job requires. But, if you get a Class A, you're qualified to run any of it,
So you went from, within a year, sounds like a year's time frame, from feeling like you might not succeed at the CDL school, to now being able to kind of be the exception for the city of Coleman.
So I actually operate one of the hardest trucks there is to operate up there.
Okay, tell us all about that.
So they just offered me a position running a front loader truck, and this truck is it's a challenge. It takes some serious drive and paying attention. You have to really be on top of your game whenever you're driving it. You have to put this truck in some of the places I put this truck. When I look in my side view mirror, I've got about 3 inches from a wall. It's very tight in some of them alleys and stuff getting in there.
Yeah.
But
so is that what you started on when you first hired on at Coleman?
No, so they trained me in almost everything up there.
Okay.
From roll off to sidearm to sweepers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which one of those is the most fun?
Fun? The one I'm in.
Okay.
It's the biggest challenge.
Okay, because it's the biggest. Okay,
Yeah.
I hear you.
I mean, a lot of people just tell them they don't feel comfortable driving it because it's
nah,
yeah.
nah,
And
man.
I was scared to death whenever I got in the passenger seat and rode with the guy until I got behind the wheel.
Sure.
And it's really not as bad as people make it out
Yeah.
to be. You know.
So let me ask you this question. I've applied for a bunch of jobs, and a couple of times it was after a degree or something, or leveling up education. I was always nervous,
Yeah.
hitting that button, and I think probably CD Coleman does like an online thing now. I don't know. But when you submitted that application and then they called you,
Yeah.
and you knew you had an opportunity in front of you, did you feel in your heart that you were ready?
I did.
Okay.
But I want to take it back to a little bit before I got the job because there's actually a guy that I went through my CDL class with that I talk to every now and then, and he was telling me that he had put an application in at the city of Coleman, and he went up there for an interview, and they never called him back.
Oh, heck.
And I was like, oh, because I was telling him I'd put an application in. Well, I went to the interview. Man, I wasn't for sure, but I knew I could do the job. And we was actually crossing over Jordan, another ministry that we serve
Yeah.
in, and I got the phone call saying that they was ready for me to start whenever, and I told them, it's like, that's great, but I still have to work my 2-week notice out before
Sure.
I come to work for y'all. And which that's another big milestone, being able to work out a 2-week notice. Used to, I'd have just quit, and it's
You have that. I know exactly what you mean by that. I was talking to someone the other day, and basically it boiled down to having options.
Yeah.
Like and somewhat controlling your own destiny.
Yeah.
Being in leading yourself to a point where you don't have to depend on whatever somebody decides to offer you.
That's right.
Like you can go. You could have chosen to stay at Ray Hall.
Oh, absolutely.
Or-
I've had all kinds of the leadership asking me to stay.
I bet. I'm not surprised one bit by that.
I could, but I left on terms to where if anything ever did happen and I did need a place to go, they welcomed me back. They
Yeah.
told me anytime I needed to come back that I was welcome to. So
That's a beautiful story, and I think that's really what we want to get all of our students to.
Yeah.
I don't teach anything anymore. When I was a classroom teacher, it was always just getting the students ready to a position where they could do the next thing.
Yeah.
And I think the college instructors are that way too. And that's powerful to me to get people to a position of having options.
Yes. Well,
life.
and also that the CDL, I didn't know that I was going to be using it at the time when I got it, but
Right.
I knew it was always a backup plan if I
Mhm.
had to have it, because there's always, somewhere hiring.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you filled out the application, went for the interview, and then they called and it's like, hey, come over here and do this thing.
Oh.
And then we're going to train you on all our vehicles. I've got a funny question for you though. On my street, City of Hartselle has the sidearm
Mm-hmm.
with a bucket, and I'm always like, how far could that sidearm throw that can? Is that possible?
Oh, yeah.
Because someone told you, or because you know?
I don't know. Oh, somebody's told me. I've seen it. And it's more of on the way down
Sure.
if you hit the button too soon to release it.
Yeah. When I was in college, I drove one of those cab over delivery trucks for furniture.
Mm-hmm.
And one time there was this, in Florence, they were doing this road construction. There's this one big cone that was like 3 feet outside the line. And my buddy Joe, he's like, hey, I bet you won't hit that cone. And I'm like, I'm not doing it, man. I'll get fired. And so like the fourth time we passed that cone, or barrel, I was like, hey, Joe, next time we come back, if that thing is still sitting there, I'm going to nail it. Sure enough, man, we made the delivery and went back that way. It was sitting there and I hit it. And it didn't hurt the truck at all, but that barrel went into some lady's yard, about 100 miles an hour. But every time I see those guys riding around, I'm always like, do they have like favorite route people? Like favorite customers, like they take care of their stuff, or is there some folks like, you know what, bam, yeah, good, hit you with this can, don't get yourself in trouble. But
No.
Okay. So what was the difference for those folks out there who have a Class B license or Class A, and they're like, yeah, maybe I want to get off the road and come back and work that kind of job. What's the biggest difference between the front loader with the arms and the sidearm? I mean, obviously, besides those two, like as far as navigation and all that.
A lot of it is just some of the tight places you have to put the thing in, like some of the corrals. Like when you go in there, you have to be perfectly square with them, or you're gonna, hit the side of your truck when you go in,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of you have to really pay attention whenever you're dumping your can, because once it gets up to the top and you tilt it back, if you tilt it too far, the can can come off and go into the back of the truck. I haven't experienced that yet, praise the Lord, but yeah.
That seems like that would be a horrible call to have to make to a supervisor.
Yeah, they have to bring a boom truck out there with a chain and fish it out.
I saw that somewhere one time. I didn't know what was happening, but there was a crane over the back of a garbage truck, and I was like, "Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's never good." Okay, so how long have you been doing that job, the front loader truck?
So this is my 3rd week by myself.
Okay, so it's still fresh.
So I trained for 2 weeks with somebody. I rode with him 1 week, then I drove the next week, and now I'm by myself.
So when we connected at the Freedom Conference, they had just offered you that job.
Correct.
Okay, and now I'm connecting those dots.
Yeah.
So you weren't even doing it yet, but okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an impressive journey. What's next for you there at the city of Coleman? Like what else can you do?
I don't really, in the sanitation department, there isn't a whole lot more that you can move up to other than like a supervisor.
Mhm.
I don't think the one that's there is going anywhere for a while, but I mean, there's still all kind of other departments. You got a water department, and in the water department, you can get all kind of certifications
Mhm.
and stuff. But so all I can say is my foot's in the door right now.
Yeah.
If I decide I want to move to something else, but, a lot of people look at it as you're a garbage man. Like, yeah, it pays my bills. It takes care of my family. I got a great retirement started.
Mhm.
Something that I never had in the past. Well, I had a little bit of one started at Ray Hall, but
Right.
it's really something that I never really even thought of, never expected to have, honestly.
Yeah, and I want to dig in on that just a little bit because you and I have the same insurance,
Mm-hmm.
The Blue Cross Blue Shield and all that.
Yeah.
That's a perk benefit that people can't measure.
Correct.
We can, but anyway, it's valuable. It's so good. And there was a time in my life when I lost that insurance.
Mm.
I was had it. I was a family provider and lost it. Made some bad decisions, and took me a long time to get back to that spot. So, and I know Ray Howe had good insurance too. But when you took the job of the city of Coleman, and then now you're investing in a retirement proper, not your own pension or 401, whatever Ray Howe had, and now you've got some relatively inexpensive insurance.
Correct.
Compared to what what was that like for you as the husband and the father?
So it's such a blessing because my insurance rate compared to Ray Hall is almost cut in half.
Yeah.
That's such a blessing. And we've had several trips to the doctor. We have a 19-month-old baby.
Yeah.
So insurance, you got to have it. It's every time we've went to the doctor though, it's just been a copay. It ain't been another bill come in the mail later on. It's it really is a blessing to have such great benefits through this job.
A lot of, I guess anybody with children understands that, but as a father, knowing that you can take care of your child.
Yes.
And when my son was born, almost 17 years ago, it cost us $100 at the hospital.
Wow.
And I was expecting like 10 grand or something silly. And he's like, okay, here's your copay. I'm like, oh gosh. I get my credit card out and it's gonna hurt. They're like $100. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. So, and it was the exact same insurance that you have. I was like, that's just such a blessing. So you got all that cooking, and now you're established, and you're the lead man on the most complex route,
Yeah,
and you're accomplished, but you still have more work to do.
I do. We just got we also just we're home buyers now, so that's such a blessing. We just put a double wide mobile home on some property. It's mind blowing for real.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's your house
it's my house. It's our house
that you earned.
that I earned. So I've had places before, but it was nothing that I've actually had to work and earn and pay for. It's just something give to me, blah blah blah, and so I appreciate this a lot more.
What's that like for your wife's name is Kara?
Correct.
Correct, Kara. What's that like for you and Kara to have that opportunity to buy and invest in your home, and then what is that opportunity doing for you daily to keep you like any man needs to be on that straight and narrow?
Yeah, so it's a responsibility. I know that if I don't get up and take my butt to work, I ain't gonna be able to keep that trailer. You
Yeah.
know, it's such a blessing to have, and we work really, really hard to get to where we're at. And like I said, if that's where you're at in life, like you don't have nothing, and you're just starting this new journey, don't give up. Just keep pushing. Like it ain't just gonna happen overnight. You didn't get your life in the mess that it's in right now overnight. It's years
No.
upon years. So you just got to be patient, and just really work hard at it. It is possible. All things are possible through Christ. But I just encourage anybody that is, bold enough to take that step in the right direction, and the Lord will honor it, and He'll provide what you need.
Yeah. I've seen that over and over. Daystar works with Living Free.
Yeah.
In from the Hartselle campus, and the Foundry down in the Coleman campus.
Correct.
So tell us about the Foundry.
So the Foundry, that's actually, my wife works on the campus, but she works through Hope Inspired Ministries. It's a really, really great program. Like, I really wish that I could have went to a program like that. It's strict,
Yeah.
but it's good. That's good to be strict, because whenever you live that life so long, you need somebody to be strict on you. You need to learn how to follow the rules, and just to prepare you for the world,
Yeah.
and to make a better person out of you. And I've led 2 freedom groups out there. Them guys love it, man, and I just encourage them, and it's so much easier for them to connect with me because I've been in their shoes. You know what I mean? So I'm proof.
That's why I bring it up.
Yeah.
I think that having that influence over other men
Yeah.
who have struggled and are doubting the way out,
Yes.
and doubting the way to where you are right now. What's that like for you?
For me doubting?
No, for you to be that light for them. That you're the hand coming down off the top of the hill to help them up.
Yes. I mean, it's amazing, actually, especially knowing where I come from. If I look back, like, back then, there would be no way I'd tell you that I'd be even sitting right here talking to you like this. I didn't do stuff like this. It's all the
Yeah.
Lord, and I think it's really important to go out and share your story, because you'd be amazed at how much it impacts other people that's walking through the same thing that you've walked through. And I also think that, they say you shouldn't doubt God, you shouldn't doubt yourself. But for me, when I doubt, it seems like He increases my faith just a little bit more,
Yeah.
and it allows me to trust more,
Mhm.
because you're not just going to jump in this relationship with God and just say, all right, God, here it is. I trust you with everything. It's sanctification is a process.
Long process.
It's a long process.
Yeah, and when you're in one of those groups, those not groups, the period of life where you you don't have any options.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that seems like it's not tangible necessarily. And so it's like, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And you dance around it and run from it and do all the things that we do. Is there a particular success story that you've had with some of those guys from the foundry since you've been sober and employed and marching your own family and yourself and your family up? Is there, you don't have to give names. Is there a particular success story that you have walked one of those young men or old men through to a point like where you are?
There is a couple that is they're really doing well for themselves. You know, they still don't have their own place, but they're living in sober living houses that are there in Coleman, and you know, you just got to do what it takes. The circumstances don't matter. You still got to trust the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that there was times that they'd be grateful to have a bed to sleep in. You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, there's times whenever I'd go months without power or water, you know, and since I've started this journey, I ain't never had my power cut off, my water cut off, nothing, you know, and I see a lot of change in them, and it's like I said, it's a process.
Yeah.
But there's a few that's doing really well, and then you got a few that fall back into
Yeah.
it, you know, and you can't make that decision for them. If you could, everybody would be sober, you know?
Yeah, and we do that too. Like here with our courses, we have a lot of folks who sign up and don't
follow through.
Don't follow through. And you know, there's no judgment there because they have life. You know, sometimes it's childcare or transportation or fear.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, we don't hear from them all the time. We try, but I always wonder, like, what does it take to help folks really just punch through? You know, and so one of the main questions I have for you is was there something that Wallace did that was like, man, that I got to do this. Like they are after me. They're going to help me. Was there something they did that just really made you see the light to get on through everything?
I think a lot of like just the atmosphere that they welcome there, you know, it's so encouraging, you know.
Yeah.
All the instructors, teachers, everything, they were just awesome. And what I think is real important is you can tell they actually believe in you, you know,
Yeah.
and that gives you a little bit more hope, you know.
Who was your CDL instructor?
His name's Tim. I don't know if he's still there though.
Okay.
But the guy over the CDL classes is Steve.
Yeah. That's all I know him as. Because those positions do change a lot around like 23 colleges and their teams are changing. But the two I do know are Ashley Baker and Anna Beard.
Yeah.
Anna Parrish.
Yeah. Anna's the one that got me signed up and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I talk to both those ladies about once a week. One of them once a week about something going on down there, and they do phenomenal work. And I know that they both, and Suzanne Harbin, their director, they all feel it.
Yeah,
they feel what you are going through, and that they want better.
Yeah,
for everybody.
They also offer all them classes out at the farm too, the foundry farm. So there's a lot of the guys that go through and get so when I was at my graduation last week, they with several of them up there getting certificates for like the heavy equipment operation and fiber optics and electrician helper. I think
Electrical
it was.
helper.
Yeah, electrical helper.
Yeah, those two, the fiber optics and electrical helper, I think, man, with all the data centers going on, oh my gosh, like, if you take those, and I mean, you got to be crazy not to find a job quickly. I think it would be crazy if you didn't find a job quickly with those two. So one of my last questions is about that graduation at Wallace Hansville. I missed it. We had another class going. We had to divide and conquer, but two of my teammates were there, and I've been before, and it's a beautiful ceremony. But what was that like for you?
It was awesome. That's actually the first time that I've actually really followed through with a graduation or anything. Like, because even when I went to rehab, I didn't complete the rehab program. I left. But I'm still here. But I know that a certificate ain't going to keep you sober.
Right.
But that's the first time I experienced wearing a cap and gown, and actually being handed a diploma for an achievement.
I love to play the game of one word for a moment.
Okay.
So in that moment, when you've got that cap and gown on, you're on top of that stage, and your wife and your child are out there somewhere.
Yeah.
What's the one word that you were feeling right then?
Accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a huge word.
Yeah.
A lot of folks use that, kind of flip it, all of my accomplishments, but like to feel accomplished.
Yeah.
That's also capable
Absolutely.
and confident, a little bit dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a book called Wild at Heart, and he talks about the different ages of men, the stages of our lives, and there's a point when we're the boy and the youth, and then the warrior and the king when we're still dangerous. The world looks at us different because we can affect our environment.
Yeah.
There's a point when we get old and nobody listens to us. They put us in the corner. But right then in that moment, you already were, but you were accomplished, but then you became confident and capable and dangerous.
Yes.
And man, that's something.
Absolutely.
It's really cool. I'm so glad that you connected at Freedom and gave me the update.
Yeah.
That's what makes for us when our team sees this episode, they'll understand why we do all the stuff we do, because it can get tedious. Any job can, right? And sometimes the point is we aren't student facing a lot of times.
Yeah.
We don't get this story.
Right.
We're handling spreadsheets and softwares and budgets and things that the Anthonys aren't showing on that spreadsheet.
Correct.
And it's so powerful for everyone to hear, not only them, but the ones who say yes to this above us to make this happen, to give us the dollars, to give us the freedom to push it out. And there's the Anthonys and the Karas out there who are doing better.
A lot better.
More confident, more capable. And the future is a little bit brighter.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, I don't know that it'll stop at just my GED. I've actually looked at doing some online diesel mechanic stuff. I don't know. Something's going to be next. I'm just not sure what yet.
There's a really cool thing coming down the pipeline called Workforce Pell. And it's federal dollars for workforce training, credentialed or non-credit. It used to be only available for degree programs. And even though the diesel mechanic program is for credit, there'll be some options there for you.
Okay.
That will be new. And so just stay tuned. Call Anna. She'll know all about it.
Okay.
But that's encouraging to hear. That was my last question, really, is what is next? I don't see you as the type of person to stop there.
Yeah. So that's why I told my bosses, I was like, I don't give up real easy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, good. Encouraging that you don't. Final thoughts, Anthony, for anybody out there who's listening to this from where you were a couple years ago. What would you tell that person?
Not to give up. Sometimes life don't go the way we want it to, but we just gotta keep pressing forward. And if you can do anything you put your mind to, and the Lord will open up opportunities for you, and you just gotta jump on them, and just don't never give up, man. Keep your head high.
Yeah. What would you tell the support system for anybody who is encouraging someone to go through the journey you have?
Not to give up on them. So many times we get frustrated with people and we just want to give up. But just keep encouraging and just be there for them, and that means a lot.
Yeah.
Means a whole lot.
We never know what that kind word looks like
That's right.
and how it keeps someone from quitting or making really bad decisions.
That's right.
Good. Well, thanks for coming on.
Sir.
This story is powerful.
Yeah.
You are the reason we do what we do.
It's been a blessing to be here.
Yeah. That whole logo right there, all that fancy banner, it's for people like you.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
your champion heart. So good, man. I appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that wraps up this episode of Innovation Unplugged. I hope you see the power of what we do at the Skills for Success program and around all of our colleges around the state. Remember, if you want more information, trainforalabama.com is your resource for that. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on your favorite podcast platform.